I finally got around to making the long miter extensions for the Smart Station and discovered two positive attributes along the way. I'm Paulk, and this is the Smart Woodshop. If you want to get yourself a set of detailed plans to build a smart woodshop for yourself or one of my workbenches, there's a link in the description of this video down below. I'm in a rush to wrap up a lot of details with the Smart Woodshop. I've only got till the end of this year here, and then I'm going to be out shopping for a new city and hopefully buying a place where I'll be moving all of this to. So just really a few more weeks. And so I want to make sure that I get all of the little things. The Smart Woodshop is done, and I certainly could finish these things up somewhere else. But I'd like to be ready to go to work when I buy our new place or we start building a place from scratch. And the long extensions were important. I don't need them here. In fact, once I am done making this video, I'm going to take them off and pack them away and put the shorter ones on, which I will use a lot more often, both here and everywhere I work. But these are critical, and I needed to get them made up. Now, I did record a video of making these, but it's identical to making the short ones. They're just longer. I already showed you how to make the supports. So really, there isn't any magic here. Again, I will edit that video and get it up so you can follow along. I did cheat a little bit and use the shorter ones as a template to make the longer ones. So it went pretty quick. After I got them all completed, I got a chance to really see for the first time how these longer extensions are going to work out. And two things that I found interesting. Once I adjust these supports, I don't really need to change them when the bench is down, sitting flat, or up on its wheels. All I have to do is just a slight tip on these, and that will keep the extensions in a nice plane from end to end. The other attribute that I discovered was a lot more important for remaining lean and being efficient on the job. With these long extensions on, my thought was, I'll be back to figuring out where I'm going to set the bench up, get it all lined up, and then it'll be planted there until I'm done with that job. But what I discovered was that to move it a bit, even with these installed, all I have to do is pop these off, and the bench is right back to being mobile. And this would be so handy, because you know how it is when you set up on a job and you, especially for the long materials, you're always trying to figure out, just that right angle, because you got to run, 16-foot goods all the way out from your saw in both directions. And a lot of times you're trying to find through a doorway, through another passage opening, because you're working on small jobs, or you're on a big job and you set up on one side and you do the work there, and then you leave it all set up and do the work on the other side because you don't want to reset. So even with these long extensions on, it's going to be pretty easy to reset. Now, you're still going to have the material issue. When you load up your long materials, you'd obviously have to unload that material. At least I think so. It's possible that depending on how much of you had, you could leave it kind of drooping down. It's going to add a lot more weight and move it. That'll be something I'll kind of test out in the field. But really, if I'm being efficient, I'm probably going to just load one stack of 16s, which is usually 6 or 8 pieces on at a time, go through it, and then put another stack on. So that part of the mobility should not be an issue. So I do like that. I like that I can fine tune it or completely move it across the room. Another mobility issue that I'm working on is the power to the bench. I know I've said it many times, but all of my power tools are plugged into my Festool vacuum. So I use the one cord from the Festool vacuum, which is a big heavy duty cord, and it's plenty long enough to plug it in the wall. And then I have a squid, one of those squids plugged into it that has multiple outlets, so that each of my power tools is able to plug in. And of course, when I turn the tool on, it turns on the vacuum, so I get my dust collection as well as the power to my tools, all with one cord. The negative to that cord from the Festool vac, again, it's a big heavy cord, and it lays on the floor and I plug it in. When I start to move the bench around, I have to come around depending on the direction I'm going away from the cord. Of course, it works fine, but when I go back the other way, I have to run around and kind of scoot the cord back because the wheels will no way go over an extension cord, and also it can start to get under the bench. And I haven't had that happen yet, but I think that's potential. So what I've been looking at is one of these Flexi cords. I got this one about a week or so ago, and it's worked out exactly the way I envisioned. When it's plugged into the wall and I push back in its direction, it coils up and it stays out of the way. This one is only a 16.3 13 amp cord. This is not the cord that I want to supply power to two tools at once. My vacuum, of course, running, and then one of the other tools. It's working, but over the long haul, it's not what I want. This brand is FlexyCord, and they make this cord in a 12.3 15 amp, but this is a 40 footer, and that one only goes to 20, which may be enough. I think I'm gonna order one of those to test it. They also make a 14.3, which is also rated at 15 amps, which would be good enough. I'd rather have the 12.3, but the 14.3 is like this. It's a 40 footer, which really coiled up, you're not gonna get 40 feet. Realistically, I'm gonna get 30 feet out of a 40-foot extension. So if I went with the 20, I'm probably only gonna get 15 maybe, or something like that, because you're only gonna get that longer length if you stretch the thing taut, and you're not gonna do that. So the reason I don't have either of the heavier duty cables is because they're out of stock. I did find the shorter, the 12.3 in stock in one place, and it's about a $90 cord, so they're not inexpensive. But when I put it in the cart, there was another almost $25 shipping on top of that, and I just, that broke the bank. I just decided I'll probably end up doing that if I can't get it through Amazon. This one has worked out so well. I know it's a direction that I'm gonna go. And I really only need one of them, so not a bad investment to keep the bench completely and totally mobile. I hope you're finding these videos informative and helpful. If you've learned anything, if you'd like to see me make more videos, then be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. You can also use our link in the description of this video down below, where you can go and purchase our plans, which help support the channel. And also you can use my Amazon store and purchase tools through there. And if you do that, Amazon will share a little bit with us. They won't charge you any extra. And of course, it helps produce these videos. Hey, thanks for dropping into the Smart Woodshop. You stay safe and have a great day.